What's up, y'all? This is week 10 of the podcast with the commissioners. I'm the commissioner, of course, Aaron. Here comes the commissioner, co-commissioner Kyle.
Yeah. Ba-bam.
Ba-bam. And we're going to go over a lot of information in this podcast. We're not taking any phone calls, no text messages, no nothing. Very informative podcast. If you're interested, please watch.
Listen carefully, folks. I know somebody's going to be calling and asking something that is exactly on this podcast. That's okay, but if you can get the information here, you can save us some time. We'd appreciate it.
We'll be more than happy to answer. Just listen closely. We know a lot of people watch it. We're going to go over some playoff scenarios and go through everything.
Tiebreakers, all your questions asked
all
about
your questions.
Everything coming up to wrap up the end of the season.
Right.
We're only 4 weeks, got 4 regular season weeks left. Let's recap week 10, though. We'll go straight into it. High score of the week.
High score of the week.
Ba-bam.
Put up that fucking 260 on them.
250, 250.4. I'll take it. Yeah,
maybe I was still thinking about Doug Martin's 60.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking about his 60 points.
I think that was a record, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was probably pretty close. I think Vic had 70 a year or two ago, so it was up there.
Maybe a record for a running back.
Maybe a record for running back. I just wish that I needed it to give me a victory. I don't even think I needed it. It was a sad thing.
Hill has needed it.
When you need it, you don't get it.
Hill has got it.
Let me tell you, who did need it was Les Gooder.
Les Gooder said he threw in a towel.
He wasn't lying.
He wasn't lying.
135 points. That's not going to cut it.
I don't even know what to say.
Don't embarrass yourself. My goodness.
Get on here and make some moves. There's 2 days left, dude. Come on.
I do like waking up at 6:30 in the morning and not getting a text message, though, on Tuesday.
He's disappeared.
Because he don't used to text me, don't do that.
He was when he was winning, he was texting, talking smack. He's disappeared.
Off the face of the earth. Oh, well.
He even changed his dang team name to "It's been fun, I'm done" in the middle of the season. I had to change it back Sunday morning.
Oh, God, yeah. Don't change the team, man. We need to know what team you are.
Yeah.
Commish picks. Here we go. We're reeling it in. We're getting closer. I went 5-7. You went 4-8. We both didn't have that great of a week.
Yeah.
But, what do you say? I'll take the cashola.
Great.
The 20-twin.
Speaking of the cashola, me and Bohica do have a side bet. However, your picks disappeared. I don't know if you deleted your message or somehow your message was gone, so I have no idea how you did. We're going to start the picks from this week going forward and just scratch last week because I have no idea how you did. I can guess on some of your picks, but it ain't that big of a deal.
As far as ours from a season standpoint, I'm 51-57, and you're 52-56. There's only a game between us. You still got the lead on the entire season, but we're neck and neck going into it.
Try to do a little better this week.
Yeah, you and me both. The watch party. Thanks to those that attended. Appreciated it much.
I'd like to see a lot more people show up to the watch party. I do understand people had to work. People worked the Saturday before. When we make an effort to try to get everybody together to talk trade right before the trade deadline, your participation is appreciated. Some people just can't make it. I understand that. Going forward, when we have these kind of things, I am expecting more people to show at these things. I'm going to start looking real closely about who's involved in these watch parties, meetings, end of the year meeting. Because if you can't engage with the league, then we need to maybe look at replacing you, honestly.
Well, the watch party was fun. We had a raffle to give a free entry off for next year. Who won the raffle?
Power and Light wins the raffle. His name got drawn out by the nice-looking waitress that was there. Power and Light. There were 7 people in the raffle. Power and Light, congratulations.
Congratulations. Free entry.
Sucked. You weren't even there and won.
Yeah.
Sucked.
But he did put his money in.
He did do that.
Didn't count. Hopefully he doesn't win the league, so then he'll get 2 free.
2 years in a row free.
Yeah, maybe we'll win 2 teams next year.
Maybe we'll. There's a good idea. Maybe we'll. Yeah, you do have options.
I don't think he needs to worry about that part.
Nah, not yet.
We're going to knock that out of the park. Speaking of playoffs and playoff information, tiebreakers, we're getting the questions, folks. You guys are interested. This league's so dang close. Every team is still in it.
It's crazy how all teams are in this race still. You got a couple 2-7 teams still got lifelines, but they need some help. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown on how these go. I don't know how quick it'll be, but let's start off. In order to make the playoffs, there's 13 teams that make it, 4 in each conference, 1 super wild card. Per conference, you get 4 people. 2 divisions are in each conference. Both division winners are guaranteed to make the playoffs. Then the best 2 records after that. When a tiebreaker comes up to determine if you make it out of your conference only, the first tiebreaker is your head-to-head against the opponent you're having a tiebreaker with if it's only 2 teams, your head-to-head record. If that's 1-1, for example, the next tiebreaker is your conference record. So if the conference record's tied and your head-to-head's tied, the final tiebreaker between 2 teams is your total points scored, and that determines if you make it or not. If there's more than 3 teams vying for 2 spots, 3 teams or more vying for 2 spots, then it goes to tiebreaker only is points if your record's the same. That's the only way you can determine it. Conference record, throw it out the window, head-to-head. You can't have that with 3 teams. Throw it out the window.
Yeah. The important thing is with any tiebreaker for 3 teams, you're going straight to points. That's going to be your tiebreaker with 3 teams breaking the tie.
Now, once we get all the playoff seeds in each conference, then you get a super wild card. That's the best overall record out of all 3 conferences combined. And if it's a tie, the same scenarios happen. There could be 2 teams with a tiebreaker for the super wild card. The same scenarios go as if it was a conference. The only difference is 3 or more teams is just points, and then you're in. The way we seed after we get your 13 playoff teams is obviously the top seed in each conference gets a bye week for week 15. They don't play until week 15. They skip week 14. That is seeded based on records, tiebreakers too, same way. Then after that, everybody else is seeded 4 through 13 based on a record. That no matter who got the Super Wild Card and what their record is, the Super Wild Card is always going to be 13. That's the lowest seed possible. Anyone from 4 to 12, it's based on records and tiebreakers. So if, for example, me and Kyle have the same record and neither one of us get a bye, if he's got, depending on our head-to-head record, if there's no other teams, he would get a higher seed because he has more points, the most points in the league.
Ba-bam!
So basically, it's a real simple format from 4 through 12. After every playoff team is determined, you reseed it, and that's how you determine the lowest seed always plays the highest seed in each game. The top 3 teams get a bye, and the best overall record gets $100, and the other 2 conference winners get $52. So that counts too.
And it is important, even if you lose a matchup, if you lose a week, to score as many points as you can. You need points, folks. Points is going to come into tiebreakers. It always has.
It's happened every year.
It always will.
It's happened every year.
So even if you lose, if you put up 190 and lose, just be happy you got 190 and you didn't get like less good or 135. You know that 60 points, that difference could be crucial into your seeding, making the playoffs, or getting a super wild card, or any of the above.
And I had a chance before the podcast to break down each conference in the AFC. You got the AFC West. You got Shawshankers with a 1-game lead at 5-4 over Payne Inc. and LeVar, and then 6165 Show puffing on fumes. He needs a heart monitor because he's about to go flatline here after this week. He's 2-7. In the East, you got the Daubers, the best record in the league, most points scored, best team, would be the #1 overall seed this week. And then HLR and Sandusky 6-3. 4 and 5 lethal weapons. So in this conference, you got a breakdown of Daubers #1 overall. Then Shawshanker leading the division gets a spot. Not necessarily 2 or 3, but he gets a spot. And then HLR and Sandusky would be in the playoffs. Following 2 games behind those guys would be LeVar, Payne, and Weapons. And Miggs, like I said, is puffing on fumes. We'll go to the NFC real quick. The NFC North is Magic leading. Fitz and Crushers are 4 and 5. 1 game behind Indiana, Notre Dame Nation 3 and 6. You switch to the other side of that conference. You got BSB and Foz 6 and 3. BSB has tiebreaker over Foz right now, so he beat the seed in that one to get the first round bye. And then you got Bohica 5 and 4, Balls Out 3 and 6. Balls Out, Notre Dame Nation, you still have a chance to run the table because you play your division the last 3 games and you're in conference this week. But the seeds in this one as of now would be BSB #1, Foz, and then Bohica and Magic and Crushers and Fitz looking on the outside as of now. The last one, the All-Pro Conference, the guy that's came back from the depths of the ashes. We should have had you on the podcast last week for Halloween. We should have had you on here. You got, I can't believe I'm saying this, the defending champion started 0-4, is now 5-4, tied with the Greeters and Power and Light, who seem to be stumbling at the last 2 weeks. So all 3 of those guys are 5-4 on that side. Oklahoma 1 game back at 4 and 5. On the Midwest side, Peyton what you talking about, Hillis? Yeah, he's got his conference locked up. I get pretty much. He's 6-3 and everybody's 3 and 6. He basically pretty much have to lose the next 4 games to even lose his division. And so as of now, what you talking about, Hillis is #1 seed, and then you got Greeters, Hardcore, and Power Light all in the same conference, getting the next 3 seeds in that conference, and then Oklahoma 1 game behind them, and then 3 guys tied at 3 and 6. So it's time to make a run. You guys got to make moves.
Yeah, this is it. And speaking of moves. Trade deadline this Thursday, 7 o'clock. Your last chance, folks. You can't blame anybody after this.
Less than 48 hours. You got to get your team ready to make a run at this thing. Like I said, all games are in conference from this point forth. I don't know who would be the super wild card at this point because there's so many possibilities, so I'm not going to go over that. But you got a breakdown of the top 4 teams, the tiebreakers. If there's any other questions, please contact one of us.
Every single team has a chance. Yep. Even the horrible 6165 show.
2 and 7 teams have a chance. 3 and 6 teams have a chance. You got to make moves. and anybody can trade. You know, you got till Thursday, less than 48 hours till trade deadline, and then the league becomes boring because you just watch your team play and make pickups. So,
barring any big moves, let's go straight into our picks.
All right.
Let's do it. Hardcore versus Colossal Connection.
I got Colossal Connection win this week. He needs a big win over Hardcore. Hardcore doesn't have Rodgers. This may be the game you can sneak one up on him. He does have Luck and Carson, who's been tearing it up. AP and I don't know who he's going to start at second running back. I think he should start Redmond against KC. Andre Johnson, Colston, Heath Miller always gets a touchdown against Kansas City because he's tight end. Chiefs can't stop the tight end. Colossal Connection, you get Brady back, Big Ben, Rice. You've got to start playing. You've been talking about people not scoring 200 points against you. It's time for you to start bringing your point total up and win this week.
That's right. You going with...
I'm going with Colossal.
Colossal. I'm going with Colossal, too. You know, they've had a couple bad weeks where they scored high points, just got outscored by tremendous scores. They didn't put up big points this week. Really, you know, kind of hurt them because they had a chance to win the game if they would have put up a good points. I think they'll be back in good points and they'll win this game.
The bottom line is like I said about 3 weeks back, they didn't have good backups for their bye weeks that hit, and they felt the brunt of that. Yeah. And you know what? They don't make trades very often. They're not making a lot of pickups. It might be time for you guys to make a big run because you guys still got a chance to make it.
Power and Light versus what you talking about, Hillis?
You know, I played this Hillis team, and I wasn't very impressed last week, I got to be honest with you. Doug Martin saved him by scoring 66 points. If he didn't get Doug Martin, he'd have got beat. And, you know, we had very couple cinema players. I started Jordy that was hurt. I'm going to go with Power and Light. I can't believe Power and Light's actually lost 2 out of 3. Their team is pretty good. They're going to beat them pretty convincingly this week, I think.
Yeah, Power and Light's had 2 games out of the last 3 weeks where they didn't score very good. After we talked them up and the high point totals they were putting on, their points scored this year is still very high. I'm going to go with Power and Light again over what you're talking about, Hillis. I think they can win that matchup.
Yeah.
Oklahoma versus the Killer Bees.
I don't know what's going to go on with the Killer Bees. They're 3-6. They got good players on their team. I can't explain it. They're not trading, or they're trying to send trades out, but they can't get anything. I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma again.
Ooh. Oklahoma, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the Killer Bees. I don't know why, really. I think they're going to be on a lifeline, and they may just be playing spoiler this week because I don't think they're going to make much of a difference, to end the season. But this week they may play a little spoiler. Walmart Greeters versus More Gooder.
I was corrected at the watch party by Frank Henderson balls out, telling me I don't have to pick Walmart Greeters all year because they lost that matchup. I misspoke last week on the podcast. Thank goodness I don't have to pick them anymore, even though they're playing Les Gooder. So Les Gooder has basically given up. And I don't know why. His team's good. Make some moves and improve your team. You can still make a run at this thing. But until you show me something, I'm going Walmart Greeters.
I second that. Walmart Greeters. 6165 show versus HLR.
HLR's not really been scoring a whole lot of points, but I got enough to beat Miglick this week. 2-7 team shouldn't beat me. I see he got on the message board and talked a little trash. I'm not really interested in engaging in cockswing because mine's bigger, according to your woman. But I'm going to roll with HLR. All season.
Well, I thought I was the only buffoon to ever get kicked out of the landing. But, obviously, Jason Miglick got kicked out of the landing on Sunday. He ate too many plates at the breakfast buffet. They won't allow him back. I think he had like 23, 24 plates of food.
And he's on a diet.
Yeah, and he's on a diet. Anyway, he's not allowed back to the landing. He basically busted that breakfast buffet down.
He tore it up. He tore it up, man. He was eating at 2:56, dude. Buffet closed at 3. He said, I'm going to give me enough plate before it closed.
Well, welcome to the club of getting kicked out of the landing. I'm going with HLR. No.
He just ain't got nothing left.
Yeah.
I'm putting in.
And he's not trying. No trades. He doesn't respond to trade offers. You text him, he won't talk to you.
Dude, he does that anyway.
So whatever, yeah.
Maybe he's busy with his girl.
Maybe he's beating it. Shawshankers versus the Lethal Weapons.
Maybe he's beating it up. Oh. I'm going to roll with the weapons this week, reluctantly, because Shawshankers just don't have any running backs. His running backs got hurt. He has no Rodgers. I would pick the Shawshankers if he makes the trade, though. I tell you what, if he makes the trade, I'm going to switch my pick.
Yeah, if he made a trade, I may possibly switch my pick as well. But the running backs, he's the only guy in our old division with absolutely no running backs.
Yeah, he's hurt
and he still thinks the ones he doesn't have are top notch. They're not. No Aaron Rodgers. I'm going Lethal Weapons. Okay. That's a gimme game. I mean, I bet probably $1,000 on it.
Whoa.
LeVar versus the Tuna Daubers.
Well, Tuna Daubers, I've been rolling with you most of the year. I can't roll with you this week. RG3 is on bye, and that's a big one. You were talking earlier about potentially trading Cam and running with Tannehill, and Potter made me a little nervous. I'm going to go with LeVar.
All my players are available.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tuna Daubers. LeVar's Legends. He's got a chance to beat me. I will say that. RG3 is on bye week. It's going to hurt me a little bit. But we'll see what happens. I'm willing to roll the dice. I'm going to go with Tuna Daubers and Babammy. Payne Incorporated versus Sandusky.
Well, you might have to make your pick first. I'm looking for this one.
Ooh, well, let me see here. I'm going to go with Sandusky. This guy's been hurting tight ends left and right. This guy will not go away. This guy constantly. Our division is so tight. I'm 7-2 with the best record in the league, and I've only got a 1-game lead on you and him.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get no breathing room. I think he's going to pull out another one.
I'm going to go with. I'm going to roll with Sandusky tentatively. There could be a trade happen with Payne Inc. So tentatively Sandusky. I'm going to roll with him.
All right. I don't think you need to look for this one. Do you believe in magic versus Foz?
There's no way in hell I should win this game. I'm looking at 2 losses in a row. I'm going to pick myself solely on pride. However, my matchups don't look good. I don't have Aaron Rodgers. Vic can't. He keeps getting beat up by every fucking defense in the league. And maybe, just maybe, I get a little luck from Andrew Luck this week and win.
Maybe. I am going to go with Magic. I'll pick that team more than your other team all year long, and I'm going to pick him against Foz. I think you can pull this one out. You know, sometimes you win the matchups you think you never even were supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Notre Dame Nation versus Balls Out.
Man, Notre Dame Nation, I thought you were going to get crushed last week by Power and Light. You came through with a tough win. Way to represent this league. You're talking trade a little tentative. He did say Breeze is available for the right deal. Just to let everybody know. I'm going to roll Balls Out. He's going to make a big-time run here and maybe steal the Super Wild Card, in my opinion.
Ooh. Interesting. I'm going to go with Notre Dame Nation. If you want Breeze from that guy, you better back up a gold truck to his house.
That ain't no lie.
I think that's the only way Breeze
This guy wants it all, dude. He want a kicker, defensive player, running back, receiver, quarterback,
a head coach.
Yeah, he want a coach.
But I am going to pick Notre Dame Nation against Balls Out. I don't know what Balls Out problem is this year. It's either he's not in it or he's just one of those years like me and you both had last year. You do everything you can and you just can't. Can't get the victories, and
he made a trade with Fitz today. I thought that might help his team a little bit. So he's in it. He's going for it.
We'll see. Fear Fitz. Speaking of him, next matchup against Blood, Sweat, and Beers.
I think Fear Fitz improved his team. His running backs were a little shaky. His quarterbacks are okay. I'm going to go with BSB. I think BSB is all around better.
I think BSB is maybe a little bit better, but BSB had a good week last week. Won his matchup against LeVar. I think he doesn't put back-to-back weeks up very well together. I'm going with Fear Fitz in this match.
If BSB makes a trade, though, to acquire somebody in this league, I may revisit my picks this week for that.
Well, final pick of the week, the Crushers versus Bohica.
Me and Bohica pulled a trade at the watch party. Some people say it wasn't good for his team. Some people say it wasn't good for mine. Basically, I'm throwing in the towel for this week in case something happens. I'm looking for a hit. I like Arian Foster a whole lot, as everybody knows that has him. I like Crushers matchups with Eli. Ryan against the Saints should be a shootout. Forte against Houston looks good. Michael Turner against the Saints. Turner gets a touchdown almost every week. Colston, Vincent Jackson, Heath Miller against Kansas City. I like the Pittsburgh's defense against Kansas City. I think he's got better matchups. He's going to beat Bohica this week.
I believe the Crushers is going to beat Bohica this week. This may be his last win of the season. You know how I said he was sliding down that mountain? He's been sliding. And I think this may be his one little tick up before it just crashes down the hill.
Yeah.
Crushers over Bohica. So that's the picks for the week.
I will officially put my picks on the site for you, Bohica, on Thursday. These are the picks I got right now. If anything changes, I'll let you know.
Time to make your playoff run. What are you going to do?
Not deal.
Ooh.